What's up everyone, 124san's here with Phyrexia, or will be one premier draft. And I wasn't playing a lot of Arena recently because I'm just not a fan of Edge of Eternity Limited, but I don't think that's a good reason to actually return to one of the worst sets. This is probably one of the fastest and, in my opinion, the worst limited sets in recent Magic, but well, drafting this once in a while cannot hurt, so without further ado, let's start with pick on pick one. And in this set, you really don't want to play blue unless you're blue-white. And this is the fastest set in the world. So you really want early aggressive plays. Like the 1-mana 1/1 in white is a premium creature in this set. And the rare is just 4-mana 4/4, not good. But for this pick, I think I would like a Canker Bloom. It's a 2-mana 3/2 that also sometimes destroy artifact enchantments and can even donk your opponent for game when your opponent have like 9 poison counters. Yeah, poison counters is a thing in this set with cards like this Basilisk with Toxic that gives your opponent poison counters when they hit, but Basilisk itself is not a good card. For this pick, I think it's gonna go with Hexco Slash, one of the best removal spells in the game. In this set, only because you want cheap interactions, so you can keep destroy their cheap creatures. And it also works well against toxic creatures, deals 4 damage to them. Pick 3. Green card's not okay. Furnace Strider, very strong card. 5-mana 4/5 gives 2 things haste, which including itself, you can just remove an oil counter from itself and haste it. And it's also has oil counters, so it works out with the oil counter enablers. You can either pick this or pick Ossification, which is a premium removal spell in white. It just removes anything, and if you have a basic land, we 100% have basic land, so this is just 2-mana remove stuff. I think this card is strong enough that I consider this over the 5-mana 4/5 Spider, and here we are. This pack, we have the Coin Chorus. This is the best creature in white, and maybe among all the commons. 1-mana 1/1 Toxic 1, when it dies into another 1/1 Toxic 1. The other one cannot block, but this is the card you want to see in this format. And the second best card here is Unclus Russia Feeder. This card only works well in one deck, and that is blue-white. But if you're in blue-white, it just turns any artifacts into a 4/4, which is a very powerful ability. You can also just basically buff your mice into a 4/4. That can also be a consideration. And after that, the Indoctrination Attendant is also a good 4-mana 3/4. Gets you a 1/1 might, but let's just pick this first. Pick 5. And here we got the best green creature in Contagious Warrack. 3-mana 3/3, look at top 4, you may get a land, and you can choose not to get a land, or if you don't get a land, you can proliferate, which work well with the poison counters and the oil counters. After this is nothing else really. Charforger is a decent card, but yeah, you have to be in black-red, which is not the strongest thing to do here. Pick 6. We have a very powerful white card, even though this one doesn't care about toxic counters. It by itself is a 4-mana 3/4 that leaves behind the equipment that gets something flying, and it also buffs all the other equipped creatures. So looks like we're just gonna be straight up white-green. Pick 7, Voice of Spitter is not a good card. Mirror Kinship, what the heck, 4-mana 3/1. It ups you a card if you have a mirror in your deck, but you're never gonna play a 4-mana 3/1 in this format. And even 2-mana 3/1 Toxic 2, this is a pretty mediocre, but if we're in green-white, the Toxic can be good. I think it's still better than like Noxious Assault. pump everything by only +2, but say if they block, you can give them poison, which kind of matters. But still, just gonna take a 2-drop here. Pick 8. Okay, there's nothing in green or white. I think this is pretty contested from the right hand side, but if we're in red, Axiom Engraver is a pretty decent card. Give me the 1/3, good blocker, and give you 2 rummage draws. And also Hazard Blast, you absolutely want 1 copy of this. You just win the game when you cast this. Your opponent cannot block and you just swing for lethal. But you only need 1 copy of this. Pick 9. Another Axiom Engraver, which is the best card out here. Or we can take a Rostering Cultivator if we are very stubborn. But I think this is just good enough to take. Maybe we're nodding green white after all. Pick 10. I'm not gonna pick Vulture Splitter though. That's a pretty filler card. And Basilica's Skull Bomb can be used to dump your opponents at the end. Pick 11. Oh, this is one of the worst creature ever. 2 mana 1/3 reach. And you don't have time to cast a 7 spell, 7-drop in this deck. In this format. And the other card is not it. Pick 12. Plated Onslaught is like borderline playable if you have a lot of artifacts like Ignites or equipments. Which we don't have any equipments outside of Hexagon's coverings. I don't think we'll play any Thirsting Roots or Fail Possibilities, so let's take this. And this is probably the worst format to play cards like Thirsting Roots. And okay, pack to pick 1, we are 100% picking Moondrake. A 4-mana 4/4. Oh wait, actually, no. If we're in paper, we are absolutely picking this, but we are not in paper. This is a, okay, so this is a 4-mana 4/4. And sack 2 artifact creatures to. But if you can give it Indestructible, you're immune to red removals. You're still not immune to Planet Disruption though. And you make 2 tokens instead of 1, which matters for Hexal Carverwings or Calling Chorus. Think because of the potential synergy, I think still gonna pick this over some really good white cards like the Chorus or the... what's the other thing? And for pick 2, we have a very good to pick either Hexal Slash or Removal or Evolving Adaptive, which is one of the best creature, but it's not the best creature if you're in green white, I think, because it doesn't give you Toxic, it's just a huge Beastic. Still, huge Beastic is good. But I think green is just not open enough. We're only seeing Contagious Vorak. That's it. Only 1 card, and we see 2 Axiom Engravers pass to us. Which is more a reason to pick red in this case. Or we can pick, if you play red-green, no, I don't think that's the way. Pick 3, if Harvest would be great if you are thinking more into green, but Indoctrination Attendant is perfectly fine. You can pick up equipment, so you just get more creatures out of equipment. Or you can just pick up a land in late game. And it has Toxic 1, it also makes a Might. Pick 4, Axiom Engraver number 3 versus, this is not really much a thing. Viral Spawning is good only if you're playing green. I think it's fine for playing green white, but I'm just gonna ditch all the green stuff and let's go with red here. And then Scamp is whatever. Basilica's Shepherd is a decent top end. You get 2 mites, and if Moondrake survives, we get more. There isn't any good green cards anyways. Pick 6. And now this is one of the best signposts, Single Slash Ravager. And if we pick this, we're just gonna dish every single white card we have here. Was I too tunnel visioned? On white, I think that might be it. And Dragwing is still playable if we do the mega. If we do the mega. The mega pivot here. And I think that's happening. The mega pivot is happening. Because the best card is Contagious Vorak. And Incubation Sac and the Furnace Strider are both pretty good cards. Alright. We're cutting all the white cards. Damn. What a twist of events. And do we like Incubation Sac over Furnace Strider? Sac would be amazing with all the Oil counter synergy we have. I'm gonna go greedy with Sac. But what the heck? Crawling Crows is back? But Battle Fence is also a pretty good card if we're still playing white. Oh. I think it's just people not knowing how good Crawling Crows is. And okay, good. It's a very good news that Evolving Adapt is here. But yeah, I am dishing all the white cards. Let's play Evolving Adaptive over a Ruthless Repetition, which is a only okay removal spell. And we are 100% not splashing in this format. Or maybe we splash at Ossification. That's something to consider. And we can perfectly play this Tyler Stand. A very good card. Hexproof Indestructible. And also Scouts in the late game, where you just need to sink all the mana into X and donk your opponent. Okay, so now we still need cheap removals. Furnace Bomb is... I'm not even consider playing that. I think Growth can definitely get a cut. Oh no, can make in? Not getting cut. But it will get cut if we have enough playables. On the maze. Yeah. Lattice Blade Mantis pick 14. Okay. Okay, that just proved my point of this mega pivot dumping all the white cards. Even though we're still seeing one of the best white cards like Coring Course in the last pick. Like what the heck? Oh, okay. I think everyone is new in this format, it seems. Not me though. I played a lot of this back then, and I know how brutal this format gets. We are able to get 2 Evolving Adaptives. That's awesome. The Seed Core color fixes for Phyrexia and has a very good, decent corrupting ability, but we are not corrupting, so we can just take our first copy of Hazardous Blast. We just use this to win the game when we need it, or we just use it to clear up the 1/1s. For pick 3, we can just take a Battle Fist, even though we have like a million 2-drops already. It's just a 3-drop, it's like garbage. And Mercurial Spartans is pretty good bump, but this is not a set of splashing. No, I would prefer actual creatures like Chimney Rebel. I think this is the best red creature. A 4-mana 3/3, make a 1/1, and also haste. Going with the aggressive game plan. And for this pick, I don't think I'm picking another Battle Fist. And Slow Bat is basically, this is just a 3-mana 3/3 period. You are not sacrificing any artifact with this. You're not doing that. And I think, or we can take another Lattice Blade Mantis, which is objectively the best creature. Yeah, let's actually go with this. Pick 6. We can get a Sack. Even though it's a little bit slow, do we like 2 Sacks? Or we can take a Ruthless Predation, which I think we kind of need. And we only have 1 Sack, and 2 Sack is a little bit too greedy. And this is also one of the strange sets where you don't need to play a lot of. You can play a V curve, have a lot of 1 and 2, have the minimum amount of 3, and then also have a good of 4 and 5 and 6. And we're not playing the 6-mana 6 every trample. And third, we're not playing Thirsting Roots. Or we can still play Thirsting Roots for the proliferate. But the only thing we're proliferating is the oil counter. Phyrexia, oh, Champion Rebel and Legendary Mantis, nice. Let's take Champion Rebel. And greater power toughness, so yeah, it works well with Axiom Engraver. And Lattice Blade Mantis, nice. Don't think we're playing Thirsting Roots. And I don't even like Hunter's Mace in this deck because we have decent mana sinks already. Like we have mana sinks like Incubus deck, we have draw and discard, and we don't want to play a tap land for that matter. But yeah, I think we got ourselves a pretty decent deck. It'll be better if you have more removals, and Blade Grab Aspirant is one of the few 3-drops I'm willing to play here. It's just gonna work with better benefits, but good enough. Take an uncommon. Cut the Titanic Growth. And definitely not playing this, even though it's 3-drop. It's just we are not doing Toxic, so the Toxic doesn't matter. And the 3 green cards, all bad. We can still consider playing our first copy of 13 Roots. Slow Bat versus Forge Hammer. I don't think I want to play that, even though oil counter is what we're doing. And Blade Grab Aspirant is basically a 7 minutes, but it works with Fire Benefist. Or we can still cut it for the things need to go to the graveyard for this to work though. Although we only have 2 equipments, so I can see cutting this for this. And still prefer to play all the 2-drops. And we can play a 16 land with 1 copy of 13 Roots. Not playing Hunter's Maze, because I can't afford to play a tap land. And I think we got ourselves a pretty sweet deck. We have a lot of early aggressions. We have some sort of removals for this stuff, and our 4-drop is just the best thing in the deck. Hazardous Blast can win us the game when the board is going to a stall, and the Synthesis Ravager does similar thing. Well, it just deals damage. It doesn't have the cannot block part, but yeah, pretty good card. I think the only change is gonna be cutting a Bard Benefits for Fortune Centurion. We are not sacking artifacts, we are not picking it back. That's great. Let's play some more 3-drops. So 4 3-drop is fine. We have enough 1 and 2 for that matter. Alright, let's roll with this. Alright, here we are game 1. We have a 2-drop and we are going first. And our 2-drops works up really well with Synthesis Ravager, one of the best hands. But this deck is just missing a 1-drop, but it can be picky. Alright. Think we can actually play a Bar Benefits first because it hits for more. And we can always just play 2 Axiom Engraver. The only downside is if they play out like a 1-1, easily block this. Lethal Demolition? I don't think that card does any work. It just I still have a 2/2. He just basically spend his mana to make it do 1 less damage. Anyways, fan of that. For this turn, Vorax. Next turn, 2 Engravers. That's pretty much set. And if we're gonna flood, the Engraver is just gonna help. And there's no way we miss a land from here, right? Yep, we hit it. I have a Tuck a Trimmed Rebel, but can't complain. Jawbone, don't let double strike. Yeah, well, it just trades into 2/2. And I I don't even need to block it because Single Stand Ravager is gonna get rid of it anyways. So let's attack. And they don't have a good attack into Axiom Engraver. Unless they have Combat Trick. I think I can still... Yeah, I can still afford to block one of them. So, and even if it eats a Combat Trick, I still have 5 mana for Single Ravager. Wait, they could have used the instant speed, but oh, that's fine. And they use it for blocks. Wow, they just eat the red ball for free. That's a given. What's that? I think I can just attack with the Axiom Engraver and then I'm 100% resolving the Single Stand Ravager anyways, so... I'm fine if they're gonna block an Axiom Engraver. And yeah, I still have enough mana for this. That's perfectly calculated. Lethal demolition their own stuff for 3/1/1s. But it is one of the best thing you can do in standard before this game is rotated. But yeah, they're not doing great here. Sharpened Slinger doesn't do anything. Draw into a Vorak. I think I'm gonna use the oil counter first. Oh wow. That's too bad. Attack with all. And then I think I'm just gonna Proliferate. Just to have a more chance of rummaging. Yep, trade it. Yeah, I'm just gonna decline on the land. And we got 3 lands to the bottom and a 1/1. That's pretty nice. Frostling Zealot doesn't do a lot. It's a very bad blocker. That's why it's not good. Pascal Slash can get rid of 1/1, but we don't need to use it. And it's not lethal anyways. You can just chump block a 5/5. Oh, they do have a favorable block. I forgot about that, but I'm fine with it. We're gonna get a lot of CCs. And that dies to a Hexal Slash. That doesn't do anything. And I don't even need to bother Hexal Slash right now. And don't need to cast this. I think that's a better feature. If we attack. Actually, if we attack with all and slash this, we just win. They block big thing, they block big thing, yeah. So let's just slash this and win. And yeah, they didn't do anything on the first 2 turns, and we just basically curve our entire hand out. That is what you really want to do in this format. 1-0 heading into the next one. Alright, game 2. This is a very bad hand. no red for the other red spells. Have to Morgan. Better hand. Have to sadly bottom a thing. I think it has to be Land Display Mantis. I'm sorry, pal. This is a perfect hand for 7. But you don't have 7. At least we can still just 1, curve 2, curve 3, curve 4. Don't play the 1-1. Yep, they play the 1-1. This is the worst thing you can. This is a very awkward draw. I was gonna just play the Canary Balloon, but I think I need to change the orders. Screw it. I'm gonna get poisoned. So be it. I need to get this Evolving Adaptive more powerful. I'm not gonna block his turn. And yup, this is just very disgusting. I think I'm still gonna get land for now. I don't think I offer to trade that. They need to spend a removal or interaction for the Contagious Vorak at least. Okay, they basically did nothing for this turn. And we drew a Ruthless Expectation, which is just perfect. So this turn is gonna be Counter Blue. Now we just fight the Jawbone. So the Infested Flash Cutter is not gonna do stuff. And now we turn the tides. Okay, they have white-black. They finally show the second color. If the only thing they can do is just equip, I'm very fine with that. And this only gives +2, so it trades into a Vorak, trades into Phyrexia and Golem artifact creature. But if I sacrifice this to proliferate, this is 4. This I'll get a counter. Or I can just use it to destroy the sword. Raskas 4. That's fine. We can block a Cancer Bloom anyways without any power. And for this turn, Incubation Sac is a better play. We need to commit more to the board. And we still have the Cantablu destroy a thing. And I don't think I'm gonna block if they just equip an attack, which I doubt it will happen. And yeah, we got it. Ooh. They did have the turn 1 chorus, but they have no follow-up. And we get our early game aggression in. And they can't do anything about that. Sweet. Oh, they did have a double striker too, but that gets easily dealt with. Just because they spend a turn to cast the equipment that basically does nothing, I think. Overall, sweet. 2-0 heading into game 3. Alright, here at game 3, we have a perfect curve, evolving adaptive into barbed into Axiom Engraver, and that makes evolving adaptive into a C3. The only downside is we are going second, but they didn't have a 1-drop, and we have a 1-drop. Having a 1-drop is very good, as you can see. We have a 1-mana 2/2. That might ease an Anointed by Affliction. if I just cast a Barbaric Fist here. But even if it is annoyed by Affliction, it's not the end of the world. Well, let's just cast a Barbaric Fist here. Yep, annoying with Affliction. Oh. But if I don't do that, I think they're just gonna tank 1 damage and I cast this and they're still gonna use it anyways. Okay, they just have the best removal for the Barbaric Fist. Oh. They got us good there, but we have a second Evolving Adaptive and Axing Engraver. And then we have a Tiber Stand, and the Engraver can just get rid of the extra lands. More removals? Ugh, at least there's no poison counter, which is fine. Okay, draw into a Lattice Blade Mantis, that's good. I think we'll just attack with this. And can we have a single turn to hold up this Tiber Stand? Testament Bearer, well, I think that's a pretty good one against Lattice Blade Mantis. But we just need 1 mana to turn into that. Or we just wait for the creature to crash into our creature. That's also a plan. I'm not playing out this mountain. We're not getting any damage in, and they're getting a card with this Testament Bearer. I think I want to be more reactive. Or maybe I need the +1. So actually, play the mountain. Maybe we need this. Or maybe I should attack with Action Engraver, because I wasn't planning on doing that. I'm not doing anything else, so let's just do X equals 1. And I don't want to really don't want to train the Testament Bearer. So I think the better idea is just wait for any of our pingers. Unfortunately, Centurion they just trade into a Dog Sports Singer, so let's just hold on. And what happened? What happened to Arena? What is this bug? Green Sun's Twilight. Get a creature, get a land, put them on the battlefield. Did they get a flyer? But yeah, other than that, not the biggest deal. Evolving Adaptive. Lattice Blade Mantis is fine, but can we get... Let's just train to that. We have 2 cards like here that can wipe the board right now. I think we should wait for those instead of just attacking right now. Zup. Okay, now we are getting doomed. They're gonna have double power and toughness. I think I'm gonna trade one into that. And this beginning of each combat. We did draw into a hazardous blast, which was what I was talking about. So in that sense, I actually I regret trading. Damn. Actually, it doesn't matter too much. Mosquito. Okay, they are playing safe here. Let's see. Which is perfectly fine because we can slash the Neko Skittle. And if we can get an unblockable Lattice Blade Mantis in, we just win. We need to... Is there a way to make them overextend? I don't think so. Okay, I need to answer this. Or if I make them... No, I still need to answer this. Because I think the best shot of me winning is just get a Lattice Blade Mantis in. And they're actually being very cautious. And we don't have a second copy of Hazardous Blast. Cinder slash Ravager. We only need to cast this for 2. But when there's the Pendrils on the board, there's no way we can get anything in. And it doesn't matter if you have a whiteboard state. I actually want to leave this in hand, actually. I am blocking the block though. Now we have a Ruthless Predation. Actually not sure if they have a removal here. I think I'm just gonna play around they have a removal, so they use a removal on the Lattice Blade Mantis. Not you. And this can still attack, I mean. Oh, its target creature can't block. Okay. I made a mistake. I thought it's a target creature because unblockable. I should have attacked with more creature, damn it. Reading card, explain the cards, eh? And yeah, I shouldn't have lost that. And now I cannot use this on the Pompo anymore. What a disaster. If this... Well, Vorak is fine. Yeah, I definitely should just use Ruthless Predation straight up. What am I doing? Not gonna block that. Maybe they just like have absolutely nothing in their hand. Oh, they can sack 2 creatures to put it indestructible. Oh, okay. And they have mana every turn. Oh that was pretty lame on me. I should read the cards better. And I thought I can make one creature unblockable is make one of the opponent's creature cannot block. Oh, reading the card explains the card. I should do better next time, heading into game 4. Alright, game 4, we can... Not the best hand, but Excellent Engraver, we're gonna fix this, so let's just keep. If we're drawing too many lands, we just discard with Excellent Engraver. And the best thing right now is we are going first. Okay, we just play the second Excellent Engraver as a given. And Terra Stand gonna go a long way. Yeah, green black. Playing a 2-mana 3/1. With Evolving Adaptive, I'm willing to just drop my guard. And play it like this. Not attacking. Not attacking for this 1 damage. Adaptive Spore Stinger, that just... I can pump this and to get 1 attack in. If that's the case, I think I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna play on curve. I think I'm still gonna play on defense for now. Mirror Converse, that's fine. Doesn't do anything to the board. And if we get the deal 1 damage, either Hazardous Blast or the Signpost, it'll be very great here. We don't need any more lands. Sack is good. Okay, with Sack we can afford to drop the lands. But first thing first, do I leave back the Evolving Adaptive or just attacking to that? I think I can still attack into that because we're getting more C-Suite later. And I'm not using a trick unless they use their trick. And if I don't use trick, everything dies, but I'm actually fine with that because we're 100% winning with this stack. Maybe I should still use a trick. I played a bit too much around removal. Maybe I shouldn't play like that. And this is only activated once each turn, which is fine. Canary Balloon, which is decent. Attack with the Golem. I'm just gonna make a Golem every turn. Get a more expensive advancement out of the way. The Siphon can attack, gets the Corrupted in, and now we are officially corrupted. Lattice Blade Mantis. I think I'm gonna leave the one behind. Because if we have Proliferate, that means one more creature. The second question is, do I care about them sucking another artifact creature? I actually think I care. I can just Terror Stand for one. And then we still have a Candle Bloom to play afterwards, which lines up very well. And you can just sack this to proliferate the sack so we get more creatures afterwards. Alright, this will be the turn when I go all in. And leave black red. I'm not playing around the board wipe because that's in white. White has a board wipe that you can pay 7 to destroy the whole board and get 5 on one might. But they're not in white. And we got this easy 3-1 heading into game 5. Alright, here we're game 5. We start with a dream. If you believe you can draw a mountain, this will be the best hand ever, but I'm not gonna dream that big. And for this one, not much better. I think we're just gonna keep this because regardless of what land we draw, we can always Contagious Vorak. Bottom this Forge Hammer. Or maybe I should bottom Playcraft Aspirants. Well, and we draw our land dice. Venser! If they proliferate once, Venser is a good card. Let's see if they have it. Attack for combat trick. I think I attack back for more. I'm gonna play it like they have any combat trick. Well, that's so awkward because that blocks stuff well. That blocks a Candor Bloom. And next turn, Axum Engraver is a little bit awkward here. I'll block here though. Maybe I already do it last turn, but proliferate. Oh, I think that's also what they had last turn. Oh, I should block with 3/3 if I'm playing around that. My bad. At least with this turn, it's very easy evolving Adaptive into I think curving on matters more. I'm just gonna ignore this Hollow Symbol before the Venser goes away. Okay, that's a very obnoxious. This card is very good in this format. It just basically gives stuff flying. With Death Touch or Vigilance, basically whatever you need at that time, this provides. Not gonna block here. And we get rid of the Void Wing Hybrid this way. They have 1 mana blue spell. Wow. That is one of the better cards in this format. I think the Cinder Slash Ravager can... Or it looks like they don't have any more Proliferate, but they can still fly over, which is something. Death Touch, well, it's the same as flying. If I don't block, that is. And we just play 2 Axiom Engravers for this turn. Playground Aspirant is gonna die to a Gitashin Raptor. So this is attack like this. We get the attack in, surprising. And now our Toxic is actually at 5. Who did that? Void Wing Hybrid? Proliferate? Annoy. Oh yeah. Are we dead on board right now? That hits for 4. Not yet, unless they have something in their sleeves. Okay, not dead just yet, but we die into anything, basically. Okay, we got a 1. But we can look at our top 3 of our decks. Maybe find something that wins the game, like Hazardous Blast, wink wink. Or anything that can remove the Gitashin Raptor. Let's just play Mantis, doesn't do it. But I just Vorak doesn't do it. Yeah, we die to the flyer. Oh, maybe I was supposed to block the CC. I didn't realize they can just pump the bird and not attack for more damage there. 3-2 heading to game 6. Alright, game 6, opponent going first, but we have a perfect curve for 1 and 2. We have nothing for 3. Still gonna keep. Seed Chrome Coast, untapped dual land. That's a rare sight. Play our 1-drop. Because they didn't play theirs. And they didn't play a 2-drop either, so we can drop a 2-drop and attack. And maybe this is anointed by Affliction. Bring the ending, fine. Bring the Ending is the quench of this set, and they got Nebraska's Fall. Fine. And yeah, we're gonna blank a turn because Sweet Drop is the lead. We have the least thing in 3. Okay, they didn't do much. They just Divinationed. Divination is not that great in this set. Usually. And now we're just gonna get our hasty attacking in. Alright, that thing would be a threat if not for the Counter Bloom I just drew. I need to keep up the pressure. So let's just do it right now. And if I drew a land, I can still Chimney Rebel with plus Ruthless Predation. If they those, yeah, I'm just gonna Chimney Rebel. I can just do Chimney Rebel. But I don't have a Hexscope Slash afterwards, but which is fine. And they're splashing, yeah. Oh wait, die. No matter what, we are gonna get corrupted. So for this one, we can just straight up attack and then Hazardous Blast their distress away. I think that's the plan. Or if they dare to use a combat trick to block, I can Hexo Slash that and play a Vorak afterwards. This usually won't see much counterspell in this set, so most of the times you won't see me playing around the counterspells. Well, Bring the Ending is one. And the other one is there any counterspells in Uncommon? Oh yeah, there is. I just read it's called Rejects Imperfection. It's basically a cancel counterattack spell. If that spell's mana value was 3 or less, you also proliferate. I think we just attack first. We don't have any haste or anything that just plus power. Alright, we get our damage in. I am corrupted, so if they do destroy into a Bring the Ending, I'll use a hard counter. Let's see if this base files a counter spell. Nope. And we're still gonna resolve this. That's not negotiable. Yeah, ideally I get a mountain because that will be my second sword resource. Alright, they were holding out on this, fine. They're using on 3 instead of 6. Which is perfectly fine. Just a single target removal. I'm gonna use this first to see more options. And I don't think I'm gonna go for a removal spell here. Yeah, Vanishing the Eternity, that's fine. And now we play a Lettuce Blade Mantis. And use Ruthless Predation on these cards that have extra threats on board. Or I can also just attack with Action Engraver and then Hexo Slash that. Draw 2, lose 2 life. And I go to 5. And Escape Experience is just gonna eat the X. And then And yeah, and then just wing on board. Actually not it. They -1. Okay, I should have used a Ruthless Predation in that case. I was playing way too safe, and I keep giving them extra turns, which they shouldn't get. Okay, now I win because I just Ruthless Predation, and then we attack all, and the rest is not gonna kill me. And yeah, nice, we got it. Sweet, heading to the next one. Alright, here are game 7. Going first, we have a 2 into 3 into 4. No one draw, but very good hand. Blue, yeah, this is what you want to see. You want to see your opponent play blue. And then we have a 2-mana 3/2. Can we deal with this? 4 log to Phyrexia. Okay, this gives also the counter, but it doesn't do anything to the board, so we're just gonna curve out. And start pressuring their life total. Eye of Malcounter. That's actually a good curve in this set, but only if you are aggressive to white. As if on your turn, this can be a 4/4, and it also has the ETB square too. But if you're on the defense, then most of the time you can't use this to block unless you have a flash artifact. But anyways, they can't block this turn because they just spend mana for our Malcounter, and now they're at 11. They basically just die to a Hazardous Blast if I have all my creatures intact. Shrapnel Slinger doesn't deal with anything. It turns Iron Malcounter into a 4/4. Right, they can't use it to block, so they might as well attack with that. That's fine. They have 2 mana up, but 100% Hex goes in slashing this right now. Blazing Crescendo. Okay, that saves it, but how about the Hazardous Blast? And now I just attack for the evil. This is the demonstration of this format. If you are not doing anything to the board, you just die. Like this. Heading into game 8. Alright, here we game 8, going first with Cannibal on 2, but this hand would need more help for sure. I need to draw 2 more lands. But if we draw into the Axiom Engraver, that helps with lands. Or we draw into early game creatures, that'll be fine. Very risk keep, but let's keep it. Hexel Slash can answer the turn 1 drops like that. Gladly just use it right now to be mana efficient. If I draw Evolving Deactive, I'm just gonna run this first. And this is gonna also eat a Hexel Slash maybe? Or Annoyed with Affliction, just like last time. And now we are stuck. Oh, I took the risk. I cannot complain too much, because this is what I chose to do. Drawing to all the 4 drops. Damn. At least Kodrova Crackler is not doing stuff. It's a 3 mana 2/3 trample, which is not a good stat. Land please, thank you. Very much thank you. And I'm still ahead on this life total exchange. So let's just keep threatening it. If they vote charge, I can just push 2 more damage, basically. And really hope I draw a land next turn, so I can just unload all the Mantis, Psycho Mantis. Oh, okay, we're saved. Think I would love to trade that. But we're gonna play a Psycho Mantis every turn. Psycho Mantis? And if they have a removal for this Mantis, I have more Mantis here waiting. Oh yeah, just gonna attack, and then play another Mantis, and then play another Mantis. They went for defensive combat track. That's still not enough. This is still not enough. Okay, fine. You got it. And this actually buffs itself. But not defensively. On defense, this is just a 3-mana 2/3, which is bad. And on attack is just a 3/3, which is like barely here. Yep, play all the Psycho Mantis. And next turn, if they don't cast a removal, I just Hazardous Blast for the game. Or they scoop. I am getting punched in this game if opponents just have stuff while I'm getting stuck for 2 mana, but we got there. Heading into game 9. Alright, here we're at game 9, the absolute final game of this draft. Thirsting Root is basically a land, so this is a 4-land with a spell 3. Not the best hand, but playable. Especially with the Hexal Slash. No 1-drop, nothing from this side either. And we draw into two many lands here. Yeah, just gonna slash the rat before he can get any poison counter here. This way they have absolutely no value. Play a bigger creature. And yeah, get rid of 3 lands out of the way. Nice. Rascal's Fall. Okay, that's the first poison counter that we're getting. But we're drawing to a perfect Evolving Adaptive. Play this. Play grab Aspirant. A little bit too many lands though. Prefer to not draw any. Like, can you give me a... wait, what is it called? Station... Or I can just blow a Hazardous Blast right now. I think it's worth it before I get corrupted, which might matter. I'm not using mana in any other way. No. Alright, that's fine. And losing more life this way, not contributing to the board. But I need to draw my threats like Lattice, the Mantis. Okay, that's aggressive. That's very aggressive just to get us to 3, fine. Didn't draw any big creature, but at least it's not a land. We are running out of steam. And are they mono black? Okay, this Wizard of the Draw got me. And then... But they still lose 3 life even if we're corrupted, so... I'm a fan of this. Wait, is this just gonna be an Exalt? It's gonna be the... Exodia. Basically, they play like 5 more Whisper of the Draws and they just instantly lose on the spot. Is that happening? But oh, Incubation Sac is a pretty good draw here. It guarantees more features. And okay, the Exodia is not happening because we have lethal on board already. And the Ruthless Predation is more damage. And they get us to 7, which is really close. This is the proliferate Exodia, basically. Oh, sweet. This is the last game, and we got the trophy with a 7th record. Not bad for the first draft of going back to this format. Before ending the video, let's take another look at the deck and look at all these good white cards in the sideboard. I make a super hard pivot to Red Ring and it pays off pretty well. And this deck is basically playing all the oil stuff and ideally really wants a turn 1 evolving adaptive, and any 2 drops will evolve it, and 3 drops also evolve it. And there are a lot of cards with oil counters that makes Cinder / Ravager cost less, and that's pretty much the point. And also I can also just choose to proliferate with Contagious Vorak, so they get more oil counters to work with. And by itself, Vorak is a very strong card. Assuming the C3 gets a land. And at worst, it's assuming a C3 that doesn't get a land, so it's just assuming a C3, but most of the time you get a land and you'll be very happy about it. And also the Hazardous Blast. This thing just... I don't think this came out that often. I mostly just use it as a very bad sweeper. But in the case where you have enough damage on board and they have blockers, you just cast this and they just cannot block and you just win the game. And at first I thought this makes one of your stuff unblockable, but yeah, making something unblockable is in blue's identity, and this card's red, and red prefers to make your opponent's stuff cannot block. So that's how this card works, and it doesn't come with its own oil counters, so it's not very consistent for cards like Cinder / Ravager. And also, Incubation Sac is not good against aggro, but I don't think we faced a lot of aggro today. And in late game, this card is very good, because one proliferate just basically gives one more C3, and by itself, it makes 3 C3s, which is very good late game value. And overall, it's 3 deck. We'll play again, but I don't know if I want to play more of this format. This is just like one of the things where you can enjoy this in short bursts, but you don't want to be a mainstay draft format because it gets very stale very fast. You basically draft and play around aggro versus aggro, and there's no way you can play control in this. It's not absolutely no way, but it's very hard to play control in this limited set because of all the good aggro creatures early, and also toxic is a thing. Against a toxic deck, they don't even need to reduce the life total from eternity to 0. They just need to give you 10 counters and that's it. And they can also just proliferate to give more counters that way. Anyways, this is a good return of this format. Thank you guys so much for watching my draft, and see you in the next one.